and welcome back to the Leveled Up Living podcast. Today's episode is a little more personal than usual, and honestly, it's been one that I've been sitting on for a while because growth isn't always about becoming more. Sometimes it's about letting go of who you had to be during a phase of your life. This episode is all about the version of me that I had to outgrow, even though that version of me felt really safe at one point. So for a long time, I was the people-pleasing version of myself. I was the fun one, the party girl, the girl who was always down, always available, always trying to make everyone else happy. On the surface, it looked like I had a lot of confidence. But underneath, my self-worth was completely tied to my performance. How well I showed up, how much people liked me, how perfectly I did things. And because of that, I lived in this constant state of pressure, always overthinking, always worrying. What if I mess up? What if I disappoint someone? And that fear would make me freeze or procrastinate or not even start because messing up felt like the proof that I wasn't enough. And that version of me felt safe because it was predictable, but it was also extremely limiting. And at the core of it all was this belief that I didn't even realize I was carrying, that I had to be perfect in order to be worthy, perfect to be loved, perfect to be happy, perfect to receive abundant success, ease, or freedom. And when you start to believe that, you stop actually living your life, okay? You stop doing the things that you love and you just start to perform for everybody else. The moment I realized I couldn't stay that version of myself anymore didn't happen all at once. There were so many moments, but where it started was shame. Waking up after nights out and feeling this quiet heaviness in my chest, the constant anxiety. It showed up as burnout, feeling exhausted at the thought of taking care of myself or doing the things that I actually loved. I stopped exploring, stopped trying new restaurants, stopped being curious about life because everything else had to be so perfect in order for me to be able to even go do that. I was so committed to being the fun, carefree girl, the one everyone expected, that I stopped being present. I wasn't actually with the people that I loved. I wasn't actually enjoying my life. I was playing a role that I thought everyone else wanted to see. And slowly I was losing myself in the process. And that's when I knew that I can't stay here as this version of myself. I have to figure out how to pivot away from this version. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Outgrowing that version of myself came with a cost. I lost some friends, and they're not the true friends, but really at the end of the day, they were just my party friends. You know, the kind of friendships that feel deep until you stop going out every weekend. It cost me a lot of nights where I felt major FOMO. I had to decline a couple invitations to go out drinking, and that wasn't easy for me. But what I gained, that changed everything. Oh my gosh, it changed so much. It changed my whole life. I gained my personal peace back. I gained opportunities to make core memories with my friends and family. I gained the parts of myself I had hidden away for so long. And for the first time in my entire life, I became present enough to actually look at my trauma, to actually process it and start the process of healing. I gained my autonomy back, my personal fucking power back. I started living in alignment with where I wanted to go, not who I thought I should be. I always knew I didn't want to be the party girl forever. I had my own dreams. I wanted to be a wife someday and start my family. I wanted to be an incredible partner and an incredible mom. And deep down, I knew that I could not get there if I kept living as someone I had already outgrown. And this is when I started to shift my focus. I started prioritizing my mental health, my mindset, my overall wellness. I started rewiring my subconscious mind to align with the life that I actually wanted. And then things inevitably started to fall into place. So the summer after COVID, I was planning on moving in with some of my girlfriends, and I literally built my bedroom in the basement, like out of shower curtains, because we just wanted to have a hot girl summer. I just wanted to be with the girls. Everybody's rent would be cheaper, so that was a plus. And we could all have our hot girl summer, give no fucks. And honestly, just make core memories with my girls. Before I did this, I made a list, a very, very long list, more than a page. And it was a list of every quality I wanted my future husband to have. And I honestly did not think anyone would check all of it off. Okay. When I was writing it, I was like, there's no way. Okay. So I'm making this list, and in my head, basically, I've committed to giving up on searching for love. What I was committed to was having a great fucking time with the girls. Okay. And maybe a week after I moved in, I saw my now husband. And I mean this with everything in my chest when I say it. He checked off every single box and then some. He checked off things I didn't even know I wanted until I met him. And after our first date, which our first date was taking his dogs on a walk. How freaking wholesome. How sweet is that? I was like, I'm obsessed. I love you already. I don't even know you, but I love you. Like, we were inseparable. We would get all of our friends to hang out. We would go play sand volleyball together. We watched The Croods like a million times because every time we turned it on, we didn't actually watch it. So we were spending a lot of time together, right? 3 weeks later, I found out he had already commissioned into the military. Okay. He didn't tell me at first. And when I found this out, I was so blown away. You guys have no idea. This is actually so funny because after our second date, I asked him, like, what do you do? And he said he was going to a training, and the training was abbreviated. I thought he was going into construction. Like, I didn't know anything about the military. So what was I supposed to expect? No, he was actually going to one of the hard trainings there is. So yeah, very wrong about that. And also was why I was so surprised when I found out he was commissioned into the military and had to leave in 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks. This was 3 weeks after we met. And he told me that he didn't tell me at first because he thought I wouldn't want to talk to him anymore. Little did he know, none of that mattered to me. I knew he was the love of my life. Whether he knew it or not, I knew it in my heart, my soul. Everything in me was like, this is my person. I can just be myself. I don't have to worry about what I say or what I do or who I hang out with. I get to just fully be myself, and this person loves me for it. And the same goes for him. He can fully be himself, and I love him 100% for that. And I'm a very picky person. Like, I could pick somebody apart because I was so used to picking myself apart, as, I mentioned earlier. But like I said, none of that mattered to me. I didn't know really anything about the military. So eventually, after we date a couple months long distance, I ended up moving to San Diego with him. And this is also a place that my high school best friend and I pinky promised each other that we would live someday. Okay. And suddenly I woke up and I was there, living in a high-rise apartment in downtown San Diego, just like waking up, seeing the sunrise over Mount Miguel. If anybody is from San Diego, you know what I'm talking about. It's beautiful, okay? I was living in alignment, living my dream, not because I chased it or I performed my way there, but because I finally stopped betraying myself and started to actually be myself. And this is what I want you to take away from this story. Your next level or your next manifestation or that next goal you hit, it doesn't require you to become someone new. It requires you to outgrow who you no longer are and step up to the fucking plate of who you want to become. Okay? So the question that I want to leave you with today is, what version of you are you still being loyal to, even though you've outgrown her? Okay? Sit with that. And if you're ready to step into alignment, power, and freedom, you already know where to find me, okay? Thank you so, so much for joining me today. If you loved today's episode, please don't forget to leave us a rating, share it with a friend who needs it, and don't forget to follow the podcast so you don't miss out on any new episodes. I love you so, so much. Forehead kiss. Mwah! Bye, babes.